All right, so this is a quick video on how to bring a more organic drums patterns, more organic loops into the motif. It's not very easy, but once you get it and you get them in there, they'll stay inside the motif and it'll be worth it. So anyway, I already have here my performance. That's called, I called it So in Love, and I got a bass here. I got my strings and my Rhodes. So now we're gonna bring in the drums. Now, the drums on the motif, like I say, sometimes they're not organic enough, at least for me. Sometimes I'm used to either using samples from a real drummer or actually using a real drummer. So our experiment to bringing this 8-bar loop that I have, that's actually played by Steve Gadd, we're gonna press add a track or add a part, and we're gonna go to the initial, and I'm gonna say drum. Okay, enter, and this is basically gonna add a drum, and it's gonna have just a snare. Okay, so now just to listen to it alone, I'm gonna click that, and that's what you get, right? So that's not what we want. So we're gonna press either edit or press right here. Let's press right here. It says edit, and boom. Now if you notice right here, it says drum key. Now this may be up or not, depending of your setting, but if not, just press drum key. It's in the lower corner. And for my purposes, I'm gonna go to keyboard select. I'm gonna lower 1 octave the keyboard. I just lowered it 1 octave, you saw right there. And I'm gonna press the lowest C. It should change it to C0. And there it is, okay? Now I'm gonna press the key select right there. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make sure this drum key, I'm gonna make sure that I go to oscillator tune, whatever. And if you see right there, it says new waveform, because that's what they call their samples, waveforms. So new waveform, I press new waveform, and I'm gonna look for my beat that it's already on my USB drive. I'm assuming that you already have a perfectly good loop on your, and it can be any loop, not only drums. It can be congas, it can be anything, guitar. But now, where is my So in Love loop? Should be around here somewhere. Salsa, salsa, and I can't find it. You probably already found it. There it is. So in Love drums, 93 BPM. All right, so I'm calling it and it's loading it. There it is. It's loaded. Now what you gotta do is that you're gonna trigger it with this key. So what we're actually doing is we're just playing one note that's gonna trigger the loop. And there it is. Now notice how it went away. All right, so I have to come down here to level and pan, go to my decay number 2, and open it completely, and that should hold it. See, now it's working. All right. So now that I've done this, now I can exit, and I have it right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that my BPM on my keyboard matches perfectly with the BPM in the with the loop, which is 93. It's very important. So now I'm going to click record. And now, another thing that's important, my loop length is 8 bars. It starts with a crash, so I need 8 bars and then a crash again. So by default, the MODX has 4 bars, so I got to change that to 8. All right, I'm in scene 1, because you can bring many other loops and put them in different scenes. I'll show you that later. So it's scene 1, length 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, bar 4. Give me a little hi-hat. And it's just gonna loop by itself, because that's where, see, now I don't have to play it, and it's just recorded now. I go back to back, I just press play, boom, and there it is. Now, it's important to remember this is pattern 17. Now, I've already done this before the video, and I have it like so I have like 2 sewing loves. So, but remember where your pattern is, because basically what you just sequenced was one note triggering the loop. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is, now I have that note triggering the loop, but I still have all these snares here. And this is why I need to change the keyboard assignment here. So for this, I'm gonna press keyboard, and for my lowest key is gonna be the C there. And then my highest key is gonna be the C. So now I won't have thing. So I bring everything in, and now I have my piano, my bass, and the, all right. So what I'm gonna do is bring the octave back. All right, so now theoretically, when I start, it should just give me everything. So anyway, if you like it, you can go to my website at eddie-g.com. That's EDDIE-G.com for more information. This is a song called So in Love from my album from a while ago. An album is called Let's Pretend. Available in Apple Music and Spotify, etc. Anyway, continuing. Now you have to save once you have everything like you like it, you have to store it. Very, very important. And make sure that this is linked, and then you go store. And then I'm not gonna overwrite my current performance. I'm gonna go store as new performance. Okay, so I'm gonna put So in Love 2. Enter. All right, completed. Now that it's stored, look, it says store pattern and performance settings. So I'm gonna click on here so they link pattern 17 with So in Love 2. Okay, check this out. All right, so boom. See, now they're linked. Please keep power on. They're linked, everything's fine. Now, this is weird. I have no idea how I found it. But now I'm gonna press Shift and the live set. Okay, Shift and live set. And my first available, it's blinking. See? So I'm gonna click on that. Boom, there it is. So in Love 2. And it's got new pattern 17. And I'm gonna switch patterns. Okay, so for instance, I said that there was more organic rhythm somewhere else. So for instance, sometimes I have to play Latin music. And let's face it, the rhythms in the MODX for Latin and reggae and stuff like that leave a lot to be desired. They're very good for, but that's it. So let's go to here. According to my calculations, notice how I changed my time too. It's 93. It was 93, now I'm gonna go to 90, okay? Now watch this, and I'll show you how I did my scenes on this one because I have two different loops going on. So, we got some real congas in, and I'm gonna go to scene 2. Scene 1. Oops. Whatever. Now, if I go to, for instance, reggae, I saved another one with reggae. Theoretically, it should start my reggae. If I did everything correctly, when I go to So in Love 2, it should start there. So it works. So I hope this was helpful to somebody, and I hope truly that Yamaha makes it easier for us to bring in loops. They should have a looper or something, in some update where you can bring in your organic loops. A lot of us have loop libraries, or we have guys that we record in guitar or whatever, and we would like to add it to our recordings, and this is one way to do it, but it's very complicated. It should be just as easy as like, hey, this is my performance, bring in my loop without me having to stand on my head and press 1,000 buttons. So anyway, finally I figured it out. I couldn't find it in the manual. I couldn't find any videos of it. They do have a way to play USB backtracks from the USB drive. But if the USB drive is not there, then the track won't be there. So for instance, this one, Butterfly, that is, and this screen looks like that. So let's see. It's supposed to be, you see, it didn't work. And I don't know why. But that was supposed to go to my USB drive for the track, which it didn't. But no problemo. Let's see if this is still working. Yeah. So anyway, I don't even know how to get to the USB track player, but this is the one thing about that track player, is that it only plays the track once and that's it. There's no loop option. So the only way I found to loop a loop in this expensive machine was to trigger the sample as MIDI, loop that note as MIDI triggering the sample, and it seems to work well, you know. I mean, I can go to this one, step sequencer. And so I hope this actually helps somebody, and happy playing. Once again, if you guys want to check out my music, go to eddie-g.com, eddie-g.com, or look for Eddie Garrido, EDDIE-GARRIDO, on Apple Music, Spotify, etc. I hope this helps somebody. I'm gonna play me out.